Hey!
Hello.
We just got back from watching Captain Marvel from Marvel.
But not the Captain Marvel that's from DC.
Right.
That will be later.
It's Marvel's Captain Marvel. And technically the second Captain Marvel because it's the lady one.
Yes, not Captain Marvel.
Who they also made a lady in this one.
Yeah. Huh.
In this movie. Whatever.
0 out of 10 stars.
Unsubscribe. No.
Hashtag triggered.
To be fair, Marvel wasn't a captain in any sense.
No, she was a scientist in this movie, so... They got everything wrong.
That, and they never actually had Carol Danvers except the name Marvel or Marvel.
No, they really didn't.
So there's literally no reason for the movie to be called Captain Marvel.
To be fair, the Marvel Cinematic Universe tends to do that thing where they skirt around calling people by code names.
Yeah.
Anyway, there some people on the internet, well, most people, as people might know, it had some political things going on, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the movie. I honestly don't know I personally don't know what they're talking about. I actually liked it. But
yeah, there wasn't any agenda shoved in anything. No one said
it didn't feel that way.
To me, there didn't seem to be any much. I saw a few things, and the trailers definitely are showing a lot more agenda than...
The trailer looks a lot worse than the movie.
I can say that, without a doubt, the worst thing about the movie was the marketing campaign.
Yeah, they could have done it a lot better.
Yeah.
And,
the marketing campaign was majorly pushing the feminist thing.
And as for other things that I heard, like other people's... I saw a couple of other people's reviews before seeing the movie. And, I don't know what they're talking about. It's like most of them were kind of going like, well, it's like incredibly boring, her acting was lifeless, and it was like, well, most of the movie she was trying to act like she had been like brainwashed into controlling emotions and not having any in order to have restraint and discipline and all this other, it is literally brainwashing because how the Kree work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I don't know what they were talking about there.
I will say, the big old fight scene was to me the big old fight scene at the end where she's fighting the Captain Marvel and I should be all excited, and it was probably one of the worst parts just because it fell into the worst thing that could possibly be. Boring to me.
Yeah,
the fight scene was boring.
The climax was kind of dull. I can see that.
Are you talking about the spaceship fight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I will give you that.
Yeah.
It was boring. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just there. And
I did like the final fight with, what was Jude Law's character's name?
Oh, I don't even remember.
I don't either. I did like the end fight with
They
that,
mentioned it like once or twice. I cannot remember his name.
which was not the climax of the movie.
No.
That would have been part of the falling
Yeah.
action section.
Right.
I was brainwashed by the movie because I am an unabashed 90s kid.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack had completely got me on favor of the movie. I got to hear Celebrity Skinned by a Hole, Only Happy When It Rains by Garbage, Come As You Are,
Come As You Are
by Nirvana, Just a Girl by... the soundtrack had gotten me completely brainwashed. So.
And it's like, another thing is I had heard, again from other reviews, of these plot holes, and then I saw the movie myself. Like, that's not a plot hole. You just missed that detail. Apparently.
What was the plot hole?
But someone was complaining like, how did the Kree know about this faster than light drive? And it turns out the Skrull didn't actually want that. They wanted something else. So, what was their reason for doing all this? Is that, first off, the Kree knew
Yeah.
that, I mean, Marvel was a scientist for them,
And
developing
she was
this.
researching
And they
the
knew
Fast
they
and
were
Light.
they knew they were developing this.
The
Right.
Fast and Light engine, yeah. They knew that was happening. They knew she was developing Fast
And also, Jude Law's character was there in the explosion of the ship that
Yeah.
was being tested,
In
so
fact,
he knew.
Jude Law's character was specifically there to get the FTL engine.
Yes.
Where she shot the FTL engine exploded and it awakened her latent mutant powers. Oh wait, we're not supposed to use the M word in the MCU, are we?
No. And they got her.
It's generic energy. I mean, it's no different than Spider-Man being bitten by a radioactive spider.
Space Stone powers because the Tesseract.
Yeah, that's another issue, I suppose, is it seems more like she's going to be a battery, and she's going too slowly, but they're not going to approach that part.
Well, the Infinity Stones do have alleged infinite power, so...
I was like, some people.
Oh
were-
crap, I just realized. If she's got power from the Infinity Stone, what's going to happen when she faces Thanos with the Space Stone?
Well,
I don't know.
if he knew where her powers come from, and that's a big if.
Yeah, but he has the Mind Stone.
If she knows.
But yeah, because remember they found the Tesseract.
Yeah, she probably doesn't know the connotations between Tesseract.
Maybe.
But the thing is, to me though, as soon as Thanos got hit with that energy, he knows so much about all the Infinity Stones, he should be able to feel infinity energy.
It's possible.
I mean, that's assuming that what she did was absorb the Infinity Stone energy and it wasn't just a thing where
It could have just been
awaken her latent mutant powers.
a result of the engine's. The engine used it as a power source, but not. That doesn't directly connect it to. It was because of the engine, not because of. I don't know.
We're thinking too much on this.
We are. We're
Yeah.
probably thinking this.
Then again, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is a Marvel movie. You're not supposed to think too much about the Marvel
But
movies.
another thing some people were complaining about, again, I actually now can see was also not a problem. And it was like, oh, she's so powerful and it was connected to the Tesseract and all this other stuff. Where was she all this time? Why didn't she...
Fighting the Kree.
And it showed as evidence of needing that super space pager from Nick Fury. She isn't omniscient. She doesn't know everything that is going on. So she doesn't know that this is any of this is happening. So she was away fighting the Kree.
They're still dropping her in, like, out
Yes,
of nowhere.
they are dropping her out of nowhere. I mean, I am glad that they did this movie so that we know about her before she starts showing up and was like, who's this lady and how's she beating up the super space purple raisin guy?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, oh, now that we've seen that movie, we'll see Endgame and we'll be like, oh, that's Captain Marvel. How is she beating up this purple raisin space guy?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe she's too powerful, but maybe not. Yeah. It still does seem like a little... She seems a little new to be the big star, but, you know, that's a small complaint, I think, and maybe an invalid one. But, yeah.
Well, as long as it doesn't go, hey, there's the bad guy, and boom, okay, movie over.
Yeah, it has to be a better fight than just, I win because I'm the best, and nah. No, it'd have to be more than that. And here comes Ian again after checking on, I'm going to assume, the kids.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that's fine. But, I'm still going to call him a villain, even though he turns out to not be evil, but he's villainous halfway through the movie. Talos, the lead Skrull, is a hoot.
Yes.
Such a hilarious and great character.
He gained like 10 pounds from chewing all that scenery.
I know, man. Good job there. in a way, there were 3 villains. Well, 3 or 4. Because there was Talos, there was Jude Law's Kree soldier character, there was Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan the Accuser one kind of showed up on.
He was more of an obstacle than a villain. And the Supreme Intelligence, which I had a mental battle with.
Yes.
So.
But yes, overall, this movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe probably would get one of my higher ratings, which would be like a 7.5.
I wouldn't rate it as the
8.
highest, not my favorite.
This one is probably my favorite Marvel Studios movie.
Okay.
Iron Man was not Marvel Studios.
Ah, I see.
Iron Man was before the Marvel Studios.
When did the Marvel Studio label start?
Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Iron Man and Incredible Hulk were not Marvel Studios movies.
Okay.
I will say this: I have only seen 3 now of this Marvel Cinematic U movies. Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and now Captain Marvel. Of the 3, to me, Captain Marvel is the worst. But
That's fair. I probably like Captain Marvel better than Doctor Strange personally, but
I like Doctor Strange.
I like Doctor. Honestly, the only ones you're watch Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man: Homecoming, and you've seen the good ones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And I guess that also explains she's way too occupied with the Kree to have noticed ego stuff in Guardians of the Galaxy too, to bother with that.
Yeah.
She's in basically another galaxy, granted.
Yes.
I mean,
From what we know,
Now, if Ego's plan had actually taken off in any major degree, then she would have been doing something, but...
it's entirely likely she was, when Ego was doing his weird thing.
When that moment where it was, like, spreading, that short period of time.
It's entirely possible she was on the Skrull homeworld, like, blasting that.
Yeah.
She just didn't get the Ego before the Guardians did.
True. But we don't know. He didn't see that, so...
Right.
I feel a little bit better about the prospect of her rushing in, being the big damn hero that beats Thanos. But maybe she won't be. Maybe it'll still be a team effort.
I'm almost certain it would be a team effort. I can't imagine Marvel Studios would bank. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers are too bankable of characters for them to be pushed to the side like that.
I told Jeremy and I agreed. We just hope it isn't a out of nowhere, boom, done, stupid fight.
Kind of like they did kind of at the end of at the end of the Justice League movie when Superman rushed in. He just kind of.
What the heck was up with that? That was so disappointing.
I mean, she is basically the MCU Superman.
Yeah, but what the heck was up with that, DC? I mean. Give Steppenwolf a little bit more credit. Come on.
What is up with that was two halves movies trying desperately hard to be slammed together to make a whole movie.
Yeah.
That's honestly what was up with that.
I mean, he was a new god. He should have been able to at least tank a couple of hits from Superman.
But speaking of the DCU, the biggest thing, and probably the most damning thing I can say about Captain Marvel is it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
Yeah.
It still even though I know he's not writing or show running or whatever the hell he was doing, Joss Whedon, it still very much speaks with Joss Whedon's voice. It still very much feels like a Joss Whedon movie, which is why I didn't see Aquaman with you, but I did see Aquaman. I got my Aquaman undies on. Captain Marvel shirt, Aquaman undies. And it's amazing to me, they keep every single DCEU movie, it's like, well, this correction course. It's like, if every movie's a correction course, maybe it's not a correction course. Maybe they've just decided that the entire world shouldn't speak with one voice.
Well, like I said on the ride over when you mentioned that, like in rocket launches, they correct courses all the time. It doesn't mean that the rocket was careening towards Earth. It's just, it's changing direction a little bit. It's not a big deal. That when they say it's a course correction for DC, they make it sound like such a big deal.
But the thing is, like I said, I don't think it is because
it's not.
The next movie's not going to look like Aquaman. Which one's the next one? Is that Wonder Woman 84?
next one is Shazam.
Oh, you're right. Next one is Shazam.
And it's not going to look at all like Aquaman. So yeah, the next one is DC's Captain Marvel movie.
Death Battle, Captain Marvel versus Captain Marvel.
That might actually be a tough one.
My money's on Captain Marvel.
One of them's going to win.
I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed the movie, but like I told Josh, walking in, I was under one of two things. Because Carol Danvers is top 5 favorite Marvel characters for me, and I was walking and knowing it takes place in the 90s, and dude, I'm a 90s kid. I was either going to be so brainwashed by this idea that I was going to like it no matter what they spoon-fed me, or nothing could possibly live up to my expectations. And I think it was the former.
I was pleasantly surprised, but I possibly had my expectations pushed way low from hearing other reviews.
And that's true. My natural contrarian attitude meant that I saw the trailer and I'm like, this trailer looks stupid, I'm going to hate the movie. Then people were giving it negative star reviews without having even seen it because legitimate criticism has died with the internet. And so then I walked in going, screw you guys, this movie's going to be great because you guys are obviously just a bunch of wincing children. And they were.
Well, from what I saw, a lot of the negative reviews had seen it. But they released Friday. We only saw it today. But.
No,
Yeah,
the negative reviews have been out for 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah, but the review,
Actual
the guys
reviews
saw,
had come out.
The guys I saw weren't covering any of the reviews until the review embargo from the critics was lifted, and then they were only covering the critics' reviews. So the people who could have seen the movie those were the only ones I was seeing.
Well, here's the problem is, I will tell you this. Batman vs. Superman has like a 21% approval rating. Captain America Civil War has like an 80-some% approval rating. This is proof that modern critics, even professional ones, have been so brainwashed by Disney's MCU they have the inability to think straight. Yeah. So if they hated this movie, it's because they're a bunch of fucking idiots.
The view is definitely skewed by some kind of tinted glasses.
Absolutely.
Well, the critics are decently fine. The critics themselves are decently fine with the movie. It's an 80-some%.
That's probably pretty close, actually. I don't know.
Definitely not lower than 60.
Oh, hell.
No, it's 80. It's an 80%.
Yeah, it's not.
But that doesn't drive me insane. One of the worst movies in existence, Captain America: Civil War, gets like a 90%. And
it really wasn't as good as people thought it was.
It was terrible. Captain America: Civil War was and I said one of these days.
You watched it only for one scene.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 2.
The very last fight's not bad, but certainly the airport scene, and I can get that on YouTube, so...
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the movie just drags on.
And it is so far up its own ass with its own revisionist history. It drives... You can't have this cinematic universe and claim this huge continuity, and then just retcon the first half of your series because it no longer fits in with your vision. But what pisses me off is fans ate that stuff up like, oh yeah, the Avengers should be. This is turned into a Civil War rant, but anytime I talk about the MCU, well yeah, the Avengers should be controlled by this organization that has caused... Oh, I can't believe the damage caused by the Avengers in the events of the first Avengers movie in New York. You wanted to drop a nuke on the city. Do you really think that would have caused less damage than Hulk jumping into a couple buildings?
And one thing I always found hilarious in Civil War when they told about the death counts in all these events, I'm like, my goodness, those are low for this kind of situation.
You look at the death count for what was it?
Sokovia?
No. The alien invasion in New York. Less people died in that than died in 9/11.
Yeah. So
Aliens invaded, and less people died than a couple airplanes flying into. 9/11 was a national tragedy, and to anyone who's lost family, anything, I'm sorry.
He was just talking hard numbers, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying that this alleged alien invasion that required a nuclear strike was less damaging.
And I guarantee the nuclear strike would have killed a lot more.
But, I don't know. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. Endgame looks terrible. I'm done after Endgame. I can't handle this garbage.
Without a doubt, we'll be dropping a review for that, too. But
Absolutely. I might see Far From Home, but it honestly doesn't look that good.
I don't really have much interest in the rest, the next phase of the MCU right
And then,
now,
like,
anyway.
the long-awaited Black Widow movie. The only reason people wanted the Black Widow movie when Avengers came out is because she was the only female representation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have Wasp, we have Scarlet Witch, and we have Captain Marvel now. We have real female characters, and not Black Widow, which was just a blank slate to put Scarlett Johansson in a skin-tight outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, and on an other note, Brie Larson is a definite tomato.
Oh, yeah, in the term of, yeah, she's a hot lady, yes.
I would really like to see her daughter become Photon in a later movie. Not her, Remy... her co-pilot.
Oh, her, okay.
Oh man, I lost her name. Because she's Photon in the comics.
Okay.
Who's like Captain Marvel, like...
Anyway, okay. Well,
Also Kamala Khan. We need Kamala Khan in these movies.
she's of the younger generation, so that might take a little bit.
I didn't expect her to see her in this movie, but I would definitely like to see at least a Kamala Khan appear in Endgame. You might get me back in the MCU if I can get a Kamala Khan movie.
Yeah, definitely going to be seeing Shazam. And
Well,
reviewing
yeah, I
that.
still like DC movies.
Yeah.
The DC movies are still...
I'm a lot more interested in DC movies than I am the Marvel right
And,
now.
2020 Birds of Prey. Rosie Perez is playing Renee Montoya, the second question.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I'm very excited. Question is my favorite character, and I like the female question, so... DC is definitely knowing how to keep my attention.
Yep.
I think I'm out of stuff to say now.
I can't think of anything else either.
Oh, I did like Brie Larson's acting, but she mugged the camera a little bit too much.
Okay, yeah, when I saw the trailers, I told them this. I saw the trailers, I thought the Air Force Base flashback was going to take up a lot more of the movie than it did. And so I was going to make a joke in this review about how that part was a lot like Top Gun, only with a lot less shirtless volleyball, much to the movie's detriment. But it turns out it doesn't really.
Still could use more shirtless volleyball.
Oh, yeah, but yeah.
I mean, come on, Brie Larson and Nick Fury in a shirtless volleyball game.
You could be my wingman anytime.
I'm telling you, if you had Samuel Jackson and Brie Larson playing shirtless volleyball,
That's the movie.
I mean, yeah, that's.
I mean, we can go home with all this movie budget stuff unspent.
Yep. That's a $5 billion movie right there.
Right there.
I will say this. The scene in the canyon with the two ships flying.
Oh, yeah.
Best Star Wars battle I've seen in ages.
No, I said, since this movie takes place in '95, does this mean the canyon fight in Independence Day technically ripped it off?
And then I add as like, or Phantom Menace with the pod racing.
I saw that.
But yeah.
When I saw that, I'm like, this looks like the Will Smith fighter pilot scene from Independence Day.
It was fun. It was fun.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Oh, I loved it. But like I said, best Star Wars fight I have
Best
seen.
character in the Captain Marvel movie though was Goose the cat.
Yes.
Yes.
Goose.
Yes.
I know a Top Gun reference.
Yes.
That was the most
Hashtag-
wonderful little Deus Ex Machina I've seen.
Hashtag no shirtless volleyball. Disappointed.
Should have got Goose in that shirtless volleyball scene too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I thought I had something else to say. I had a snark to say, but I lost it. Oh no! I will say I got so mad when they were doing that color thing and changing color. for her outfit, and they went through the color scheme for Warbird, the black.
They
with the
they basically hit a lot of the color schemes that she's done.
It was
in the
like
past.
black with gold trim. I'm like, no, keep that.
Keep that one. Keep the Warbird outfit.
That one looks the best. I mean, it didn't have the leotard, but the color scheme. I was
You're
like,
right.
yes, that's the best. That's the one you look. The red and blue gold looks good too, but
I mean, you keep saying she was better as Warbird because she was her own person instead of Captain Marvel 2.
or Captain Marvel 1 or Miss Marvel, who was raped by an alien space god, gave birth to said alien space god, then ran away with said alien space god.
Comics are weird.
We like to forget about that because it's terrible.
Yes.
But I will never forget Marvel. You did that. Someone approved that, and you should feel bad.
Well, at least she later beat up and killed that space god and said, no, rape bad. And that's how she became binary.
The binary look effects are terrible in that movie. I
Yeah.
think binary is like Venom. There's just no way to make it live action and not look bad. But I think that's
that was it.
everything.
Yeah. So, see ya.